All right, switching gears now. Democrats introduced a new immigration bill, including an 8-year path to citizenship for about 11 million migrants living without legal status here in the States. So joining us now to discuss the new immigration bill's editor-at-large of the Impunity Observer and Guatemala resident Steve Hecht. Steve, thank you for joining us back here on Wake Up America.
It's my pleasure to be with you, Rachel.
Now,
Thank
Steve,
you.
The U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021 includes what I just mentioned, that 8-year path to citizenship, shorter process to legal status for agricultural workers and recipients for childhood arrivals programs. So in all, what are your thoughts on this new proposed bill?
I think it's a clear path to citizenship, and it's pulling new migrants to the United States, which I think is a serious problem for the United States and also for the places and the people from where they originate.
So during the town hall on Tuesday, President Biden said, quote, "There is a reasonable path to citizenship." Kind of what you just mentioned. Do you think that this bill will live up to what he said?
No, I think it'll create a lot of problems. And I find a contradiction. Biden says that it's a humane bill, as opposed to Trump, who he calls inhumane. And I find that he's pulling people from Central America to the United States. It's a very dangerous trip. Women take birth control measures before they leave. They know they're going to get raped. That's how desperate they are to get to the United States. And if Biden really wanted to be humane to these people, he would just simply let them get visas and fly into the United States. It'd be a lot cheaper, and wouldn't have to undergo all the tremendous hardships at the hands of the criminal cartels that control the flow through Mexico.
Of course, and things you don't even want to think about. That's why I was going to ask you about that journey, because it seems there's conflicting reports. We're hearing that migrants shouldn't make their way to America. This bill almost encourages them to do so. But you have been a resident of Guatemala for almost 5 decades now. So how does this bill, do you think it affects migrants specifically from Guatemala?
Well, it keeps the country's borders open, and it gives them every incentive to come to the United States. And besides that, what I find important is that Biden claims that the key to immigration policy is to mitigate the circumstances that push people to the United States. But as Vice President Obama's point man, Biden did exactly the opposite. His policies pushed people to the United States. He took over Guatemala's highest court, put socialists on it, who protect violent gangs descended from the Fidel Castro-supported guerrilla. And that term of the court is up on April 15th. And as president, Biden's State Department and National Security Council have already intervened on behalf of the criminal socialists who control that court. And if they're successful in imposing those criminals on Guatemala's highest court, you can be sure there are going to be a lot more migrants going.
Right, and this bill's about 353 pages. Again, we talked about those conflicting reports on whether it's encouraging people, like you were mentioning as well. Do you think it's going to pass?
That's a good question. I mean, I suppose that if they cannot kill the filibuster, I don't see how they pass it unless there's some way to get around the 60-vote requirement in the Senate.
Right. All right, we'll have to see. Steve Hecht, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Pleasure to be with you. You have a great weekend, too.
Thank you.